Well, hello there, great person, and welcome to something new, something that I've always wanted to do. And yeah, it's gonna be a ranking of the Bankai and Bleach because I actually, yeah, it's one of my favorite animes. I've sometimes mentioned it before, and I wanted to do my own ranking because I've seen several people rank them. I didn't I didn't agree to some things, and yeah, so this will be my tier list of all the Bankai there are in Bleach. So let's see the rules. We will have some rules, and there will be spoilers for the Thousand Year Blood War arc, so the last arc of the manga, which hasn't been animated and will be animated later on this year, I hope. And also for Can't Fear Your Own World, which is a novel, and I think it's considered canon. At least I consider it canon. And yeah, so there are spoilers for those two. So if you haven't read them, or yeah, you can only read them. So if you haven't read them, please be sure to yeah, don't spoil yourself because it's really really cool. So yeah. And all my rankings will be based on the latest version of the Bankai. And of course, if you've read these things, the Thousand Year Blood War arc and Can't Fear Your Own World, you will know what I mean. The other people that are still here that should have clicked this video away, yes, there are upgrades to some Bankai, you know. So I will base this one on the latest versions. I will tell you what my estimation about the original version would be, but I won't place the Bankai there. And yeah, this is purely my opinion. And you might disagree, and I know some of them are really hard to place. And yeah, so let's get into this. Oh yeah, something I forgot. Yeah, it's also a bit of who would beat whom. So if there are two Bankai where I'm not sure, I will perhaps think about would they beat this person or this person, and this is also highly debatable, of course, but I think that might make some things a bit more clear. So anyway, let's just get into the ranking here. Okay, let's get into the ranking. So first one we have the one you. Oh yeah, right. My tiers are S++, which is absolutely Beast Bankai, and D tier, which is Crab Bankai, but still useful a bit. I mean, there are no completely useless Bankai, but of course we have this ranking. And here is this category as not rankable. There are Bankai which I will not rank because I don't have enough information. I can give you an estimate. I will say where I think they might be placeable, but I will not rank them. So I will put some down here in this last tier. So doesn't mean that they are the worst. It's just I can't. Yeah, I don't have enough information about them. So first one, we start off with Hitsugaya Shuhei, and yeah, so Fuji no Kojo. So the Bankai of Kazushini, which is from Can't Fear Your Own World. So this is perhaps already a spoiler for you. But yeah, so what does this Bankai do? Well, it's the ultimate stall, so to speak. So this Bankai, what does it do? It creates a giant ball of chains in the sky, and this ball of chains will connect itself to you and your opponent, so to Hisagi and his opponent, and it lives off their combined Reiatsu and distributes the Reiatsu. So with that Bankai, you can actually stall quite well because the other person, they can't kill each other. So it's just a battle of, yeah, I won't fight you anymore, so could you please turn this thing off because it's draining me and you, and it's, yeah. So that's quite unique, actually. I would place it, I don't know, if he's fighting alone, that's almost, yeah, it's about C tier, I think. If you fight together with someone, it would be B tier, I think. Because it could take one person out of the equation for a while until you deactivate it. I mean, if let's say he fights Eisen or Yuha Bak, or in German, Yuha Bach. So yeah, let's say he fights one of those, and Yuha isn't in Almighty. So they fight each other, and Hisagi does Fuji no Kojo, and then yeah, they both stay. at the place they are. And they are chained up to this ball and they can't really, I mean, they can fight, but they can't really get away and they can't kill each other and that's it. So, I mean, they could be there for ages until the Ryatsu of both of them runs out, and I'm not sure if both die then. If they would be dead, both, that would be make it B tier. But then as well, if he fights together with someone, I mean, let's say he's in fake Karakura, he's fighting Aizen with it, he gets Aizen into the Bankai, so Kyukazoikutsu, I don't know. Aizen doesn't use it because he thinks Hisagi can't do things. Hisagi does Bankai, catches Aizen. Yamamoto can finish off everything and kill Aizen. You know, so that makes it a very potent Bankai and tech team, which might even make it A. I think it's high B for me personally, because if he does not have a capable partner that he's fighting with, it's just stalling. And if the opponent might, you know, he might do Talk no Jutsu, even if that's the wrong anime, but then it might work. But yeah, I think it's B. Let's put it in B here. Yeah. So Sabi Maru, the new version of Renji's Bankai. If Renji would have not had this new Bankai, he would have been D tier because he didn't do anything with this Bankai in the whole manga. And we know why, because, well, not completely, but Byakuya broke some of the vertebrae, the thingies that are connected there by his Ryatsu in the Bankai. He broke some, they can't be repaired. We know that from the 1000-Year Blood War, that they can't repair the Bankai. Like, Bankai can't be repaired, only reforged by Nimaya, I think. And so his Bankai was pretty weak, perhaps because Byakuya destroyed part of it. But then he got it reforged and he trained in the Royal Palace, and he beat Mask the Masculine with it. And he beat him quite effectively, but we only saw it once. And Mask was a bit of... I don't like that fight very much. I think Rose was too dumb, but we will get to that. And Kensei yeah, he didn't take it seriously enough as well, I think. So I think he's he might be weaker than Rose, but only, you know, if the thing with Rose didn't happen, I think Rose would have won. So I think Renji and Rose would both have beaten him. Kensei, I don't know if he would have beaten him. I don't think he would. I don't think he would have beaten Kensei. So I think Rose is stronger than Kensei. So he might be A. I mean, he ended as Sternritter. And the Sternritter was giving two captains trouble, but because one of the captains wasn't that strong and one of the captains was stupid. So yeah, I think it's A tier. It's A tier. I mean, it's not S tier because I can't judge it by the single time it was used. Perhaps if Kubo's plans of doing 10 more years and not 2 or 1 would have been the way it would have gone. If that would have been the case, I think we might have seen this one twice. Oh no, wait. It didn't do anything against Yuha. Of course it didn't. I mean, yeah. But I mean, yeah, it was Aizen who made Yuha think about it. You know, that it wasn't real Renji. It wasn't. I think real Renji, I don't even know what happened to him there. Was he in the fight or was he always just an illusion? I'm not sure. I have to read up on that again. But yeah, so Renji, so Yuha instantly killed his Bankai, but he did that with every Bankai because, oh, Bankai are broken in the future. But yeah, so, but it seems that I don't know if he toyed with the Renji Mirage. So I can't say enough about that. So I will put him in high A tier, might be S tier, but I haven't seen an S tier move from him yet. So yeah. Shirafude Ichimonji. I've thought a lot about this one. It is S++++. I mean, it is technically, I think it's the one of the two best Bankai we've seen. We've seen in action. Let's say it. Let's put it that way. One of the two best Bankai we've seen in action, I think. And in a one-on-one fight, I think he would have won against everyone save for perhaps one person, and I will talk about that perhaps a bit later. But that Bankai, for you who don't know what it does, it renames things. And it sounds like a stupid ability. I mean, it's he has got this giant brush, and he can, in his Shikai, he controls all black in the universe, and so he can paint everything black and erase the name of things. So that's quite a profound thing. I love that Zanpakuto. One of my favorite Zanpakuto, because he takes the meaning from things and makes them powerless, which is quite a deep idea from many cultures, that names hold power, and I mean, fantasy as well, in Western fantasy. I mean, in Aragon, there are the names, the true names. So yeah, that's such a profound ability, and it's like he named things, so it's almost like he was a god in a way, because he gave things their power by naming them, and that's such a powerful concept. And his Bankai can do exactly that. He can name things. In the fight against Yuwak, he would have won if Plot Kai wouldn't have kicked in. Which is okay. I think that's okay that Yuwak... what we know about him from Can't Fear Your Own World, I think that's completely legitimate what happened there against Ichibe. I did not think so in the manga. When I just read the manga, I didn't like it. But when I read... I didn't read Can't Fear Your Own World yet completely, but I've read quite several excerpts. But I will have to do that. But I know more about Yuwak and his connection to the Soul King, and with that, I think it's okay that with the Almighty that woke up, that he beat him. But then again, he so what happened in the fight? I mean, Ichibe named Yuwak a Black Ant, which at first I thought, oh god, I mean, isn't an ant comparatively strong? But no, I mean, an ant is considerably less strong compared to a human, and that's what he was fighting. I mean, he was fighting a death god and the father of the death gods. So yeah, but anyway, I think Shirafude Ichimonji, top Bankai. I mean, there are only two Bankai I think that I'm thinking of that might be able to end Ichibe. Well, I mean, he won't die because he is connected to the Soul Palace, but he might lose to two Bankai here if he doesn't get his Bankai out first. But if everyone has their Bankai activated, I think he would win almost every fight. But we will debate that later when we have the S++ placings, perhaps. So next one, Konjiki Asi Shogi Jizo Motofutun Shotai, which is not this picture. This is the old one. The old one was still pretty powerful, I think. I mean, it had... What were the abilities? I mean, it could eat things, which was quite disgusting. It could pierce you with all those blades that came from his neck. And it had the poison that changed every time, which is quite hex. But Mutofuten Shotai, which is the modified version of the Bankai after... and I think it's never really stated, but the way I always understood it, it was Mayuri broke his Bankai in the fight against Sail Apollo. And then he reconstructed, and you could see his Bankai. It has this cloth around the point where it broke. And so he just modified it. And what his modified version can do, it creates a giant fetus like Buddha, and that one will spill out. These are Shogijizos, this thingy will spill them out, and they are adapted to whatever he's fighting. And I think he would have ended Pernida if it hadn't been for, I'm a Quincy, I can use bow and arrow, which was absolutely stupid of Mayuri's part. He should have thought about it, and it was hilarious. That was one of my favorite panels in the fight, where he has this elaborate plan with his Bankai, and he gets Pernida eaten, and he thinks, yeah, I've won, and then Pernida just blows the modified babies apart, and then says, did you not know I'm Quincy? I have bow and arrow. And then he looks like... And it's one of my favorite panels. But yeah, so... Motofuten Shutai. I think it's S tier because it is so adaptable. It is so adaptable. And with Mayuri using it, I mean, he has hacks, he has all these chemicals, so he's like a chemist in a way, you know, and a mad scientist, of course. Great character, one of my favorites. But yeah, I think I think his modifications would counter quite some. I mean, it almost ended Pernida, and Pernida is the hand of the Soul King. If Pernida hadn't been a Quincy, which it naturally was, but Mayuri didn't know that the Soul King was a Quincy. At least the father of the Quincy. I mean, then it would have probably ended there, and Nemu wouldn't have had to heroically, you know. But yeah, so I think that's an S tier because he can modify it and he can attack everything else, and his genius together with the Bankai is quite strong, So I think that's a fitting place. Mutofutin Shota is, of course, here. If it hadn't been Mutofutin Shota, I think it would have been B. I think it would have been here. Yeah, I think it would. I think Renji was stronger than Konjiki Ashisogi Jizo. Sabi Maru is stronger than Konjiki Ashisogi Jizo because he has this energy burst. I mean, like he taught Taiho, this that he had in this other Bankai form that's like in this form as well, if I remember correctly. And he could have just, like Ishida, he could have just ripped it in half. I mean, if Mayuri loses his Bankai, it's not that bad for him, as we have seen multiple times, but yeah. So, what do we have here? Oh, is that Ichigo? Yeah, Ichigo. I don't know. And we don't know, and that sucks. I'm suspecting this, but we haven't seen it. He said Bankai, he did Bankai, next page it was gone, which was quite a shame. And as I said, I think Kubo planned 10 more years and then 1 more year, so we might have seen a lot of this Bankai. And it would have probably been the best fight against Yuak in the end. But unfortunately, I mean, I understand that he had arthritis. I think Kubo had arthritis. I hope he's well again. I think he's drawing again. I mean, of course, Burn the Witch, but yeah. So it's not rankable. I can't rank that. I don't know. I mean, Yuak says I have to instantly end it, so you might say it might be S++ by that comment alone, but I don't think so. I'm not going to rank it. I'm not going to rank it. It might be stronger than Ichibe because it transcends Shinigami. So, but we don't know. Next one, Karamatsushinjo. Katenkyo Kotsu Karamatsushinjo. Let's see. That one. Wow. That is an insta-kill for most things, which is why I think it's the lowest of these, but I think it's S++. And I can understand if you say it's not, but I think it's very low on S++, but it's still on S++. Because, man, if you're not Ichibe or Yamamoto or Aizen or Yuak or Lily or Gerard, it kills you instantly. And I think Kubo mentioned that if this Bankai would have gone up against Aizen and Fake Karakura before he used with the Hogyoku, Kyoraka would have won. So that tells you something. This Bankai is stronger than Aizen in base form, not in Hogyoku form and all the other stuff. I mean, of course, this always, it's hard to place. Everything there is hard to place. We all know that. But yeah, his it's I mean, what does it do for those who don't know? I mean, it's and that's another thing. So his Shikai makes children's games reality. What does this Bankai do? Of course, it makes adults' games into reality. And for now, we've only seen one adult game in the Bankai, and it might be that it's just that one. So it's a play. I mean, it's, you know, theater play. It's like a game for adults. You know, quite a profound idea as well, by the way. And yeah, so it fits perfectly, and it's very melancholic. And man, when he activated it, I mean, I think it's one of my 3 top favorite. It's one of my favorite Bankai. Perhaps my favorite Bankai. I'm not sure. Perhaps I will do a ranking on that one day. But yeah, I mean, so first, if he activates it, everyone gets depressed. So everyone can feel him. And I mean, he's the captain commander in the 1000-Year Blood War, and yeah, from then on. So I mean, it's a Captain Commander Bankai, and it's like Yamamoto's Bankai, which we will get to later, I think. I hope. Yeah, I see it there. So yeah, we will get to that later, but man, so everyone feels it around, and we know why he didn't use it against Stark, because everyone would be dead. Save for Yamamoto, perhaps. Everyone would have died from that Bankai. Aizen, Gin, Kaname, Ichigo, everyone there would have probably died. And looking back to that, I remember reading that. I mean, I've been reading Bleach when it was releasing. I've been reading it since 2008 weekly. So, you know, there was this Stark fight, and we had the fight against Stark, and yeah, we thought Kyoraku was getting clowned on in Ukitake when One Wise showed up and Stark just one-shot him, and before that Stark tried to lure Kyoraku into going Bankai. And I thought, yeah, do it. I mean, what do you have to lose? And oh my god, Stark is so strong. But man, if he would have used his Bankai, Stark would have been dead in 2 seconds. That is so messed up. His Bankai is so strong. His Shikai is so strong. I mean, his Shikai almost ended Lily. If Lily hadn't had 1,000 transformations, angel style, he would have ended him in Shikai, and he was the command of the Schutzstaffel. So yeah, man, this one. So, sorry, I'm going on a tangent here. So, what does it do? Yeah, it makes everyone feel depressed. Then it's like the story about a man who might be mistreating his wife. I'm not that sure. And yeah, it's the first thing is both the first act of this play is their wounds get shared. So Shunzu was injured, Lily was not injured. So the wounds Shunzu had were inflicted on Lily as well. So where they say they were on equal terms, so to speak. So next one, the one of them gets the deceased who's got more damage, I think. No, the one who inflicted more damage, as far as I understood. The one who inflicts more damage gets a disease, gets weak, and then they both get thrown into this dangerous abyss, which is just a underwater abyss, a bit like the inner world of Ichigo, but drowned, and they are getting depressed and hopeless, and everything fades. And yeah, the last thing is Kyoraku manifests a little string and cuts off the opponent's head. And getting your head cut off ends you. And that's why it's a one-hit kill for everything, except for perhaps other S++ tier people. So, strong Bankai. I think Ichimonji is stronger because you can just ink him and take it away, but yeah. So, what is this one? Is that Hitsugaya? I think that's Hitsugaya. So Daigurin Maru full form. It's S tier. It's S tier because it can flash freeze everything. So what happens if his petals disappear that he has behind him in Bankai, which you might know from the anime, he gets grown up. So he's a young man, and he has incredible flash freeze ability. So instantly freezes surroundings and kills one of the forms of Gerard with that, which is quite an achievement in that part. So, is it stronger than Mayuri? I think Mayuri could counter it if he knew. He didn't know you. I think they're tied. I think I'm gonna let Mayuri stay on top, but only because his Motofutin shooter could probably produce worms that are immune. I mean, that are superheated and are burning up inside and are tortured, but they won't be flash frozen, and then he will eat Hitsugaya. And we saw that he clowned on Hitsugaya when Hitsugaya was a zombie, which meant I think he was stronger there than his base form. Not his base form, the form before he was a zombie. So yeah, I think you could argue that. I think this is. You could make this argument. So, but if you think this is wrong, I understand that. Yeah, Zanka no Tachi, I don't, yeah, here. I think that's the strongest Bankai, which is, you know, beyond Shirafude Ichimonji, because Yamamoto, so what does his Bankai do? He's got four main attacks. The one is, it's not like 4 main abilities. The first ability is his sword gets charred, and all of the fire he has and can produce is just on the line of the edge of his sword, so he can annihilate everything it touches. He can't be touched because his second ability is he's got his Rayatsu, which looks like fire, and it's like the surface of the sun, so it's like disintegrating everything, so you can't touch him. So if he touches you, you are dead, you can't touch him. Then he can summon, I don't know, what was it called? Something with Daisojin in the end. It's like the rebirth of a trillion soldiers, something like that. He just summons a trillion corpses. All the people he've killed, he can summon them forth again, and they can fight for you. And that's psychological warfare, and they are strong. So yeah, and the last thing is like, he has this really strong ability where he just ends you. A bit like Kyuraku's, which makes me put him here. I mean, they're both captain commanders. I think Yamamoto is stronger than Kyuraku. And I think they both have this final cut move that instantly should one-shot everything. And Yamamoto has this in base form, in Bankai base form, because his blade can erase everything. But this ability, it's called Zanka no Tachi North Tenchi Kaijin, and it just like gets Tensho instantly erasing everything that is, you know, in the arc. And yeah, he doesn't get any repercussions for his Bankai. He doesn't. Kyuraku does. So Kyuraku gets also depressed, and in the end, in that fight against Lily where he used it, he almost wanted to kill himself. So it's quite messed up. But Yamamoto, the only thing is he could just burn everything, and if he uses it for too long, everything will be dead. The whole place will be just burned to ashes. And that is something I've been thinking about as well, because I think the reason why Yamamoto did not use his Bankai against Aizen and fake Karakura was, if he would have done that, the atmosphere of the world would have ignited and everyone would be dead. That's why he didn't use his Bankai. That's my headcanon. I mean, I think that's an okay theory. So yeah, I think that's it's because he couldn't use it. If it was too powerful, he would have just hit the earth. So yeah. And I mean, it's like when he activates it, it's the same as Kyuraku. It has this effect on the area, and everyone's getting the lips dry, and water's disappearing, and Hitsugaya's Bankai is destroyed just by Yamamoto's Bankai being activated, which is absolutely insane. I mean, it's the younger version, but yeah. So, wow. So I think, yeah, Ichimonji could... I don't know if the ink can be burned. And I don't think it can, because he's like the namer of things. And we've seen... So after Yuwak stole Yamamoto's Bankai, Ichibe got ink on the medallion, and I think that's the reason why Yuwak never used it, because he didn't have it anymore, because it was erased. So Zanka no Tachi was erased when the Shika of Ichimonji painted the medallion black. And I think you might be able to argue that the ink is not, like, it's not real ink. I mean, it's the concept of black. You can't burn the concept of black. I think that's the concept of black. And Yamamoto has black on him, you know? And I mean, you have black on yourself. I mean, when you go into the ears, there's black. I'm just, I don't know. But, you know, he is black, and everything that's black will lose its name. So he can, and I think on the sword, you know, Zanka no Tachi is, the sword is charred and black. So it can already be just taken and then gone, you know? I think you could make that argument. Then again, if you say, no, it's normal ink, which I think it's not. I think it's quite clearly abstract ink, abstract black. And yeah. So I think that Ichibe would win. But I understand if you say Yamamoto would win. I really understand that. Yeah, and with, I mean, in their fight, I'm not gonna go into that, but if they fought, I mean, the mausoleum of death that Ichibe has, which takes which takes you out of the rebirth cycle, which he tried to do to Yowak, man, that would end Yamamoto instantly. So, yeah. Next one, Hakano Togame. I think it's Rukia's Bankai for you, those of you who don't know. I think it's stronger. Is it stronger than Renji's? Is Hakano Togame stronger? Yeah, I think it is. I think it is stronger. I'm not sure here. So you might switch them up. But I think Hakano Togame is stronger than Sabi Maru. Because Sabi Maru just has a flashy that we know of. I can only go by what we know. So I mean, it has this flashy burst of energy, and Hakano Togame is like Hitsugaya's Bankai. It can insta-flash freeze the surroundings, but I think it has to be directed in her case. That makes it weaker than Hitsugaya's, which is why I place it down here. And she can't move. I mean, she can move in her adult form after the time skip when she has the children with Renji, and she's the captain. As a captain, she can move in the Bankai, which I think that's just in Bleach Brave Souls. But I think you can argue that that's canon. I mean, why not? We will probably never see that. So I think that's canon for me. And I say, and with that, yeah, she might get on par with Hitsugaya. But here, I mean, in the manga, I will not do that. I will not say that's canon for this one, for this discussion. So yeah. She has to stand still, which makes her weaker than Hitsugaya. Has a great weakness. So I think she's still stronger than Renji. Because Renji couldn't get to her quickly enough, so he would just be frozen. But I can understand if you want to change this up. Tensa Sangetsu. Oh, we've got this one twice. Okay, Tensa Sangetsu is D tier. And you might say, oh no, what? Is he mad? It has never beaten anything. It has never beaten anything. It hasn't even beaten Byakuya. Byakuya was beaten by the Hollow Mask. And after that, he's always used the Hollow Mask. You could argue that is it the new one? No, it's the old one even. I mean, we would have to take into account the... Yeah, this is iffy. This is iffy. Let's say this one is not rankable, we know that, and that's the actual one. So this is gonna be the version, let's take the version he has here, where he is activating it against Byakuya. I think that's the panel. Let's say it is, that's very weak. It's not the weakest on this list, I think, but no, mate. You are quick, yeah, and he might have beaten Byakuya, okay. But he was inexperienced. And that's, I mean, it's a stupid argument to make if I say you take the recent version, but I can't do anything here because it's, let's put it there. And with the mask, it would probably be B tier. So, Jakurai Kyoben. Ooh. I will put it here, but I will think about putting it in C tier. What can it do? It can one-shot you. If it hits you, it might never hit you. So... it did more than Ichigo's did. Didn't kill Baragan, but almost did. It didn't kill BG9, but almost did. I think it's C tier. Lowest C tier. I think it's lowest C tier. Because she can, in the end of the series, she could fire it more than once. She always uses Rasen Shunko. I think, is it called the... What is her Shunko called? Her Wind Shunko. She's using Wind Shunko, not her Bankai. And that fits her more. So I think it's okay to put the Bankai in C tier. She herself would be B tier, I think. But it's just the Bankai, so I won't. Yeah. Next one, Tekken Tachikaze. Tekken Tachikaze is B tier. I think. I think it's B tier. It's B tier, but it is... What does it do? I mean, if you've only seen the anime, you have not seen it in action. I mean, he Kensei used against Wonderwise and was off-screened, which I am still mad about, and I think it's been 10 years since then, since I read that chapter, and I'm still mad about that, but yeah, so his power is he can take all the force he's creating and condense it into the hits he's doing, and then it when the hit connects, it explodes 1,000 times again and again and again inside the opponent and does a lot of damage, which is quite strong against most opponents. He didn't end Mask, but then again, perhaps James's Mask. We don't know that. Perhaps a nice idea to think that. Is it better than Ujino Kojo? I don't think so. It has not beaten anyone in the series, even though that might be a bit unfair because he's faced off against very strong characters. But then again, I think Mask was not that strong. I don't think so. I think he's overhyped. I don't think so. And I think the Mask fight was a meme fight. So, whatever. I think it's below Hisagi. Because Hisagi at least can stop an opponent. If Kensei can't hit the opponent with his Bankai, or if the opponent can regenerate, or if the opponent is too fast. Yeah, I will place it here, but yeah, you might disagree. So, which one do we have next? Kanonbiraki Benime Aratame. I think that's high S tier, almost S++, but we haven't seen enough of it, unfortunately. So Urahara's Bankai, in an area around him, he can restructure anything he wants. He can make himself stronger, he can pull apart opponents, he can create dimensional pathways, so he can even modify space, he can heal himself. Quite strong. I think it's like Mayuri's Muto Futin Shoto, but better because Urahara is probably better in using it and stronger and more creative even than Mayuri. So I think this is yeah. The fight against Askin, beautiful, and I think it deserves the top place in S perps. Yeah. Okay. Sam on Sakura Kageyoshi. I think I'll put it here. In S tier. It is S tier. It is so versatile. And there are some very, very strong moves. Like Gokei is very strong. The one move where he in Senkei where all the swords attack is quite strong. I mean, it's razor blades flying around at an incredible pace. I think why it's below the others is because Hitsugaya could just flash freeze it. And I mean, he would beat Rukia, he would beat Renji. I think he would. He would not beat Mayuri, I think. Because Muto Futin Shota, again, it could just produce something that is very thick and then it wouldn't do anything. Like armored skin or something, like an armored caterpillar, I don't care. And Urahara, I mean, Urahara would beat Byakuya. I think he would beat him. He knows him too well. And I think I think the Bankai itself might be able to shield him, because it could get in front of Urahara. I don't know, but I think that's reasonable to put him here. But he's strong, he's very strong. He should have died, but he's strong. Ginjo. I'm gonna say this. I think it would be okay to assume that he's in B tier somewhere, but I can't say for sure because I don't know how strong Ichigo was at that time, and he won against him. I think Ichigo was stronger than Kensei there, and I think he might even have been stronger than Sabi Maru. I think he was. I think Ichigo after Fullbring arc was A tier. His Bankai was A tier in this. So he moved up. I mean, he was D tier at first, and he was with the Hollow Mask. Then he was S++ in Dangai form, and then he got back to, I think, S. I think it's top tier A or low tier S, perhaps even middle tier S. Yeah, but perhaps he would be here. If Ichigo's Fullbring Bankai would be here, I think it would be perhaps here. But I can't really tell. And for that reason, I can't tell how strong Ginjo was. And we haven't seen him fight in the end, unfortunately. So he did not fight against Yua. He just was there. And I think he would have. He would have fought Yua with Ichigo. I think he would have fought Yua with Ichigo, Renji, Rukia, Ishida. Yeah. I think that would have happened. So, yeah. I think I will say it's not rankable because I don't know. I honestly don't know. Kokujo Tengenmyo Dangai Joe. This is very controversial, probably. It's just because he has 5 minutes and then he will never be able to use it again. No, wait. I think this is... You know? I think this is fair. I think he would beat Kensei with... I mean, of course he would beat Kensei. Would he beat any other of those? He wouldn't beat Rukia with it, I don't think, because she could just freeze it. Yakuya could jump away, could freeze it, could stall it. Kyuraku, I mean, the S++, they would end... I mean, they would win every battle under them. I think quite obviously, so I won't comment on that. But yeah, I think that's the right place. I think Fujino Kojo could counter it. I mean, his normal Bankai would be D, because he never did anything with it, except kill Po, which makes him perhaps D, but above Ichigo here. But Dangai Joe is quite powerful, but I think it has 5 or 10 minutes limit. He has to sacrifice himself, and he's never going to use Bankai again after that, which makes it very detrimental. Huge drawbacks. I don't know why he has such huge drawbacks in his Bankai. His normal Bankai has had such a huge drawback with the sharing of the wounds. And, I mean, fine, his sword can regenerate. And that's, I mean, good, because you're getting clowned on so much. But I like Komamura. I love him. Great character. I love, I think, every captain, and I love Komamura. Such a cool guy. I wished he would have had one more fight where he was stronger than someone and just ended them. You know, it's a bit unfortunate that Kubo made him always run into Aizen and be fodderized. I'm very sad about that, but I really like him. So next one, what do we have? Oh, Sakashima Yokoshima Hakupo Fusagari. Shinji. Where do we put you? Where do you belong? Oh, oops. I'm sorry. Ooh, this is hard. Unfortunately, I have to say B tier, top B tier. I think it's stronger than Hisagi. Yeah. It is only usable against 2 or more opponents that hate you and love each other. Because what it does is the Shikai reverses senses, the Bankai reverses your everything else, your personality, your relationships. It reverses your relationships. So if you hate someone, you will love them. If you love someone, you will hate them. Which means that, I mean, let's say he would have used it in Fake Karakura against Aizen. What would have happened? Aizen wouldn't have attacked him. Aizen would have just ended all his Pada. Okay, so... And all the captains would have ended themselves, each against each other. You know, that would have been just a cluster F. Might have... Yeah. It's so situational. It's much too situational. It's even more situational than Fujino Kojo, but... I think because you can end a fight with it, I will put it above Hisagi. Just for that reason. Otherwise, I would have put it below him. And he can't, you see, it's not very clearly visible on this image, but he's standing on this flower. And if he gets off the flower, its Bankai is over. So yeah, it's even worse. So it's worse than Rukia's there. You know? So I think it fits quite nicely. Koko Gonryu Riku. Is that rankable? Let me think about that. It injured Yamamoto when he was young. And we've never seen it at full power. I will not rank it. I suspect it's A. I suspect it's A tier. I do. But I can't rank it because we don't know. We know that it did not harm Yamamoto when Driscoll used it. But it did harm Yamamoto when Sasakiba used it when he was young. And I don't know if he was a bit rusty, but that to me indicates that we don't know the extent of this Bankai. Unfortunately, I really like it. It's cool design. It's an elemental one. I really like that Gonryu Maru was in the filler that prominently. I mean, not that prominently, but you saw him. You saw the lightning ability, and that made up for it. I mean, it's pretty clear that Kubo designed the filler. I mean, the Sanpaku spirits in the filler and their abilities. I mean, we know that, and that makes that arc absolutely beautiful, and I love it. Best filler I know of. So yeah, I will not rank it. That would be unfair. Kenpachi Saraki. It's a gut feeling, but I will think about it. We don't know the name, but I think we might call it Yachiru Kuzajishi. So, how strong is it? The thing is, when we saw him use it, he didn't have enough control. It was just raw strength. And after a while, I mean, if you can tank him for a bit, and that's hard. I mean, of course it's hard. I mean, these three would clown on him. Hitsugaya would probably be able to stall him. Byakuya might be able to stall him. Those two would be able to stall him. I think this is a good spot. Rukia would be... I don't think Rukia could... No, they in no way could they beat him. He might beat Byakuya. I don't know how... If the manga had gone on for longer and we would have seen it in a more refined form, I think it would have been S tier and perhaps even here. And there's potential for S++. But the problem is he loses his senses. He's just a ravaging dog, and that makes it also weak. Plus and his body isn't used to it when we saw it. So I said the current version, which is the not finalized one. So I think that's a spot. I'm okay with that spot. I understand if you don't think so. I understand if you say, no, he's so strong, but I mean, again, my argument would be he would take the Bankai away, he would just end him because he can end everything. Kyuraku might cut off his head, and Kenpachi can't survive having his head cut off. This is something you might argue. But Urahara could probably just replicate it, to be fair. He can strengthen himself and he could deconstruct Kenpachi, because Kenpachi would probably just charge him, and Kanonbiraki Beneri Aratama could just restructure Kenpachi. Tough luck. I mean, Mayuri is obviously stronger than Kenpachi, which doesn't mean the Bankai is, but I mean, oh, okay, so perhaps you're now crying. No, he's not, but I mean, Pernida showed that he can outsmart Kenpachi pretty easily. And I'm glad that they are friends, which we saw they seem to be pretty good friends, even if they don't admit it. I love that, but I think that Mayuri he's stronger than Kenpachi. Is the Bankai stronger? I'm not sure. I mean, this might be a special case. But I think the Bankai is not better than Muto Futin Shotai. Perhaps in the full form, then I could understand, yeah, then it's better probably. But in this form, where he doesn't have control, where Kuzajishi Yachiru just activated it for the first time, it's understandable. So I think it's okay, but we don't know what the potential here is. It could be S++. I hope that you understand my reasoning. Rose. That's so bad. I'm so sorry, Rose. Because Rose is a stupid idiot. Such a stupid idiot. I loved his character. I absolutely loved Rose, and then he got clowned on because he said, "Yeah, my Bankai can make sounds, and they make you associate different things like Prometheus fire, and then there comes ein Heldenleben, and ein Heldenleben never came to fruition because he told him what his Bankai does, and then he just pushed out his eardrums. We all know the story. I was so mad because I didn't want Renji to come in and end the fight because he had enough spotlight in the manga. And for me, Bleach was always everyone should have their moments. And Rose did not get his moment because of this stupid. Yeah, let me tell you my ability. It was so beyond dumb. And I think that Bankai would have killed Mask. So that's why I put it here. I will put it here. I think it could have killed Mask if the user wasn't a stupid retard. I'm sorry. I know that word is not that. Sorry for the word. But what did he think? What was he thinking? I don't know what he was thinking. So stupid. I think he's very strong, and I put it here because I think he could beat Renji and Rukia. I think he didn't beat Mask because he was stupid AF. But the Bankai was strong. I think it was strong. And it was cool, and I wanted to see it finish. I wanted to do that. And I suspect in the 10 years we would have seen it do the Einheldenleben. So, yeah. Minatsuki is not rankable. I don't know what it does. I have no idea what it does. Unohana's Minatsuki. Might be acid, I don't think so. I think that was metaphorical, the panels there, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously she killed Kenpachi multiple times, so I think she would probably be. I think she would be here. I have the feeling, but I can't rank her. So, unfortunately, such a wasted character. I'm also suspecting that there was a flashback plan where she would have fought in Bankai, and that was just the tease that we saw. Because that was what was happening in Soul Society. We saw like Kokuchi Tengen Myo, we saw it created, and Komamura said Bankai, it was building up behind him, and then we cut away, and it's with Tekken Tachikachi, so as well, this panel here, it was against Wonowise, he activated it cut away, and in the next fight it was explained, so I think this was the plan here. He just showed it's doing things, he was ended because he wanted to, because he was at peace. Yeah, whatever. And I think he wanted to show that in a flashback arc. And he didn't have the time. Pretty sure. Pretty sure. Together with all the Bankais from the Zero Squad. So, Posen. I mean, he did beat Kensei. He was in Shikai, but or not even that, but yeah, I think Kensei wouldn't stand a chance against Tosen. Soifon wouldn't. Ichigo wouldn't. Dangai Joey would just end him because he would just AoE. Hisagi I think he would beat him. Shinji, he wouldn't be able to beat Shinji, no. I think that's the perfect placing for him. Ryuumo Hozukimaru. I'm so sorry, Ikaku, you're a great character, but your Bankai got broken, and it never will be a good Bankai because it got broken. And it got used once. I mean, in one, it was a very nice fight, but so unfortunate he didn't use it ever again. Because of his pride, I understand that. So, I think that's a fitting place, even though I'm a Ikaku fan. So, Kamishini no Yari. I will put it here. No, here. Because it's one-shot kill. I'm not sure if this might be okay. It's like Kyuraku, Yamamoto, and Ichibe. It's one-shotting. It's you can't evade it. Okay, you can evade it. I think you can evade it. Ichigo did evade it. I think Hitsugaya wouldn't be able to evade it probably. And Gin wasn't using full strength against Ichigo. So we don't really know. It's almost not rankable because he lied so much about it. But I think this is a good place for it, or perhaps. Yeah, I think this is a good place because, you know, it can just, we don't know how fast it is, but it is very, very fast. So it can, so he doesn't even, you know, he says Bankai, points at you, and you think, what is he doing? And he's got something in your heart and you're dead. So I think this is a good place. I think these would be, Urahara and Mayuri would be too cautious. He wouldn't get them. They would always be on the lookout and they would sense that he's doing stuff and they would be wary of him. And these as well, I think. But you could argue that he could even end those if they weren't looking. They weren't looking, he could. It's the strongest if you are in a building or in a bush. I don't know. If you're an assassin. If Gin is sitting somewhere saying, oh, Bankai, then good luck. You're dead if you don't know where he is and that he's in Bankai. You know? So that makes it very, and if it's not, you know what? I'm doing Unrankable because it's so situational. It's, yeah, no, I think it's okay here. I think it's okay here. It's okay here. It's very interesting. I mean, I've read rankings of Bankai before, and I think it's very underrated. Kamishini no Yari is such an underrated Bankai because he never lost with it. Never lost. I think is it perhaps the only Bankai that never lost? Let's see. Who did lose? So that was a tie. He lost. She lost. He lost. He lost. He won, but was I mean, technically he lost as well. He can't win. He never fought against someone, so we don't know. He won once and lost once against Iwak, but it's a bit unfair. She won. Okay. Lost. Yakuya. At least he was lost against us, not. And technically against Jara. I think you can argue that they all lost against Jara. And if you, I mean, they would have. Oh my god, yeah, he lost so much. He lost once. Well, twice. I count tonight as a loss for him because Nemu had to step in. He lost with his Bankai, he never lost. Okay, so this one. Zankan no Tachi wasn't beaten. It was just taken, but before that he beat the fight. He lost because of stupid ass plot reasons. He lost because of stupid ass plot reasons that are not stupid ass. They are okay. I understand them. Okay, Lily is pushing it a bit, but I understand Yuwak here. So yeah, it's one of the Bankai that never lost. I think that's a fitting spot here. I mean, he lost because you could argue that he lost against Aizen but he killed him. He killed Aizen and the Hogyoku revived him. So he killed Aizen, so he won that fight. And then Aizen powered up and was transcendent and, I don't know, beyond. So I think this is, yeah. So this is my ranking. Hope you enjoyed it, my little ramblings. And yeah, if you don't agree, I'm really looking forward to your opinions on this one and on your reasonings. And yeah, be sure to like and subscribe if you are interested in this. I might do more Bleach lists. I don't know. This was just, you know, normally I do horror, but I really wanted to do this because I really, really am a big fan of Bleach. I think one of my favorite anime ever. And such great things that Kubo has written and drawn. And I know there are critiques and he rushed some things, but there are many things where I would disagree with many critics. And for me, it's the best of the big three. But I never got into One Piece because of the drawing style. It was just pages were too filled. You know, I think if I had the time, I really would enjoy One Piece. I think I've read that Impel Down arc, that fight. where you know, with Whitebeard the situation in Ace, and I think I saw when I was very, very little, I saw Crocodile, the fight against him. That's what I know of One Piece. But the panels were always too full. I didn't get into it, but I think I will one day. Naruto, I really like Naruto, but I think Bleach is a bit better. But Naruto is also very good. I haven't seen Boruto. So, anyway, hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, if you disagree with things, be my guest. I really like disagreeing because you can learn from it. And we might have some fun discussions in the comments if ever someone finds this video. So, anyways, have a happy day and take care of yourself. See you around. Bye.